Okay, I think it's done.
I'm kidding.
I think
I think they got it now.
I think we have a peak.
Yeah. Well,
Well, this is the first time we're talking about this. Like, this is crazy.
which
This is the first time.
are you
first-
lying on the internet?
First time we're doing this.
This is the first time you lying on the internet? Stop
try.
being it. Hey guys, welcome to A Filmmaker's Brain, episode number 7.
Yes.
And today we're again talking about the French animated movie The Little Prince. Why
First
are we
time.
talking about it again?
Somebody, I don't know who,
Uh-huh.
somebody forgot to press record.
Was it our tech
on the
guy?
sound. Yeah, I need to speak to him.
Karim, aren't you the tech guy? We had some technical difficulties where both the cameras were on, but you know the sound wasn't.
This microphone wasn't going.
No, so
that
yeah.
felt really bad. Like, actually, it felt like
Yeah, you've been feeling like shit for the past 24 hours.
I had like the worst.
And it
night
was so
yesterday.
late yesterday, so we had to postpone it today.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, we're talking about The Little Prince, which is a French animated movie from 2015. I think we agreed on.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, because I guessed 16.
Yeah,
and then
you were so close.
You looked it up and then
I did.
perfect.
Yeah. So, do you have anything to say before I do my introduction?
Do it.
Yeah. Well, okay.
There's
so
so much to say, so do it.
there is.
Let's get to it.
The Little Prince is a French animated movie, but voiced with American voice actors. It was made in 2015 and is basically an animated fantasy / drama / whatever.
Adventure? I would call it adventure,
I would
right?
call it an
Yeah.
adventure movie. That's right. And it's about this little girl growing up in a very, very square neighborhood. She's brought up with her single mother, who is very, very into the picture or what am I saying
The
now?
lifestyle.
No,
maybe?
yeah, but she's trying to make her daughter the perfect adult. And she's very, very, like, into this. Like, she's making these huge schedules on the wall where she, minute by minute, is telling her daughter what to do. Like, 7:30 you wake up, 7:40 you have breakfast, 7:50 you do morning gymnastics, you know. And all of this is to get the daughter into this school, which is called Worth Academy. And it's supposed to turn her into the perfect adult when she has gotten all of this knowledge and all of this wide variety of different knowledge, which I just said. Great.
You know what I just realized while you're describing the movie?
What?
That this screenplay has a false motivation or false goal.
Yeah.
Because it start off with like, okay, so the main focus of this movie is gonna be the girl getting into like into
Worth Academy.
Yeah, into Worth Academy.
Yeah.
And you see like the struggle, and she didn't make like she had an audition and she didn't make it or whatever.
Yeah.
And
she
like
failed the audition. She fainted during the audition.
one big question and then they asked another.
Yeah, and the funny thing was that her mother has prepared her for the big question, which would be like, why are you Worth Academy material? And then they ask her during the audition, like, what do you want to be when you grow up? And she starts answering the question why she's Worth Academy material. She's like, 1, I'm 2, I'm, and then she goes, oh shit,
She just
faints.
faints.
But basically that's the start of the movie, and she and her mother decides to even move into a neighborhood that's close to Worth Academy to
There's some kind of rule that they needed to accept her or something like that.
yeah, like they have to accept her if she's in the closer area or something. So they move into this really square neighborhood where every house looks the same, every car looks the same, every road looks the same, and it's like you said when you watched it, it was like, hey, this doesn't even look animated, this looks too real.
Yeah,
and
there were some like pictures that really looked real.
Yeah.
And if I don't remember the name of the movie, but the Coen brothers made a movie called it's about that Jewish family, you know, and struggling, and like It's really funny.
Okay.
The guys that made Fargo, but it's like the neighborhood where they lived.
Mm-hmm. I think I know what.
Serious Man.
I haven't seen
Serious
that.
Man. Yeah.
I was like, I think I know what you're talking. No, I don't. No, I don't.
It's called A Serious Man,
Uh-huh.
and they live in this like really squared neighborhood. I think you would love that movie.
Okay,
actually.
cool.
Super cool movie.
We'll end up there.
Comedy and fantasy and a lot of symbolic stuff and stuff like that.
Yeah.
And they live in this neighborhood where all the houses look the same.
Yeah.
And it was basically like that picture could have worked in that movie,
Yeah.
It looked that real.
Yeah. Because the thing I feel when I see stuff like that, it's the same thing in Edward Scissorhands. In a lot of Tim Burton movies, you end up in a neighborhood where everything looks the same. Even in a few
Big
Wes
Fish,
Anderson kind of stuff, like you see that also that the fear is everything looking the same.
Yeah.
Like that's what you fear, or the main character fears, or whatever. And in this case, you feel very uncomfortable because it's like, this is a child. She's supposed to be playing. She's supposed to have friends. She's supposed to be like having fantasies, having dreams and everything. And it's basically just her mother trying to live through her child.
Well, it feels like that her mother is also living that life.
Yes.
Which
her mother is also a career woman. She's going to work very early. She's coming home very late, and she's talking to her child as if it is her colleague. She goes like, "Oh, the report, and the thing and the thing," and her daughter goes like, "Yeah, the report, and yeah, the thing, and yeah, the thing."
But like just discussing that as well.
Yeah, we will end up in an hour. So let's.
No. I feel like it's great because we're going into things.
Yeah.
That we didn't talk about yesterday.
That's right.
Which is even better because we're like developing
something new.
Yeah, some like greater thoughts.
But we will also get stuck here, and it's a lot to talk about in this movie.
It's just a short thing because it's about the movie as well.
Oh yeah.
That talking about everything looking the same and stuff like that. This movie is also about daring to stand out.
Yes.
Which is like
I didn't even
think about that. Yeah.
Which leads us to the second character that is presented.
Oh yeah, the old.
I'm
guy.
losing my words right now. I'm like tired from work. Presented. But so when they move into this neighborhood, everything looks the same except from the only house on the street that doesn't, and it's next to them. And it's this older man, quirky older man with a long beard and a little goofy kind of guy, and he lives in this huge, really weird house that doesn't at all fit in there. And there are weird things hanging from the windows, and
the grass is just growing wild.
Yeah, everything's growing wild around this house, and he's trying to build this airplane in his backyard, and how they are crossed roads is because he accidentally finds his airplane propeller going straight into her house. Yeah. And she goes like, what the?
Yeah, and he's like presented in a way that he's the weirdo.
Yeah.
He's like this guy that people are scared of. The house is like really cheap because he
probably built it himself.
Yeah. And talking about the airplane,
yeah.
something that we talked about like after.
Yeah.
Well, he tells us this story, right?
Yeah.
Through some paintings with text that he gives the girl.
Yeah.
And basically that's I guess that's the story that is based on the book.
Yes.
From
book. We forgot to say that this movie is based on a French fairy tale saga that has like a lot of my friends know that they were like their parents used to read it to them when they were kids. I actually hadn't seen the book or anything until I saw the movie in 2015, and that was just because a friend of mine was like, "Hey, this is really your kind of film," and I was like, "Yeah, everyone says that," and then I watched it. I was like, "Yeah, it is. It is.
I understand why,
so
and I really do understand why."
Yeah.
But the thing is, we get to like the presentation, the introduction to the Little Prince is made by so we have this character that crashes into like
her life basically
like a sand dune with an airplane, and then he meets the Little Prince in the desert. that like situation, like just the crash, is actually based on something that happened to the writer of the book, the fairy tale.
Yeah, you told me this yesterday,
and I was like, oh, I didn't have time to tell you about this, but
we're getting a second chance here.
Exactly. And I'm like, yeah, I'm gonna tell you about it because it's really beautiful.
Yeah.
Because if you think about it, it's like when you face death.
Yeah.
When you're face to face with death.
Yeah.
You realize the importance in life.
Yeah, and then you also see new ways of describing life.
Yeah, and all the things that, because one of the greatest like chilling moments of the movie is like talking about the most important things aren't the things that you see.
Yeah, and that was the quote that you were hooked on.
Yeah, and it's so beautiful that this man that almost died in a crash meets the boy in that moment in his life. He almost died,
and then he meets someone who makes him see things different.
Exactly.
And the funniest really the funniest part, which is related to that quote, is that the little boy in the desert, when he has crashed, is asking him to draw a sheep for him. And he draws like a sheep, and he draws another sheep, and it's not good enough, and it's not good enough, and then finally he's like, hell. And then he draws a box with little breathing holes in, and then he goes, there's your sheep. And the boy just goes, that's exactly what I wanted. And I was like, yeah, because another, like, as you say, the greatest things in life are the things that we cannot see, because it's the things that we imagine. It's the thing that, like, of course, everything's perfect. If you tell me, like, if I ask you what's in the box, or what's in the box, I just had to do the reference. But
do you think it has to do with people not knowing what they want?
Yes. Yeah.
I'm gonna take like a really long shot here.
Let's get deep.
And say that that Stalker, in a way, talks about the same things.
Mm-hmm.
You saw Stalker with us.
Yeah.
Yeah. Andrei Tarkovsky, a movie about this mystical place.
Yeah.
That you can visit, and in there you will have your like most, like the biggest desire of your life come to life.
Yeah.
And you get to hear these stories about the things that happen to people, where basically what you learn is that people don't know what they most want from life.
Yeah, but it's the same thing. Like I think that it's not just that you don't know what you want in life. It's the same thing. You don't know what you're afraid of. You don't know what you fear. You don't know what you like. Like, there are so many things that you have a picture of how your life is supposed to be, and what you like, and what you like, who you care about, and everything. But at the same time, like, when someone asks you the tough questions, then you're usually found speechless. Like, you can't immediately say, like, if I ask you what are the 3 most beautiful things that you love, you will go, hey, shit, I can't answer that question in 3 seconds.
Movies and Goodfellas.
No, but you get what I mean. Like, you won't immediately answer those big questions because you don't know.
And I think it's really arrogant.
Yeah.
To think that you know.
Yeah.
Because it's basically taking the life out of life.
It's cocky.
Right?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's like...
It's like telling everyone else, like, hey, I know, sorry you don't, or whatever.
No, but it's like, where is like like you get to know yourself.
Yeah.
More and more.
Yeah.
Going through life, right? And thinking that you know what you want is like, you're not even respecting that you don't know yourself.
No.
And you're supposed to, like, in a way, not know everything about yourself.
And a way the movie takes like these things up, because this is not just us going deep, because it also has a reference to the movie.
Yeah.
Like, we have a lot of characters in this movie, but at the same time they're focusing very hard on the important ones. And they're focusing very hard on what their typical character devices are. And you have this man who needs to be applauded all the time, but he's not doing anything to get applauded. You have this man who who has decided that the grown-up world is supposed to look a certain way and that grown-ups don't deserve the light, so he takes the stars out of the sky and like gathers them into this glass what do you call it?
Glass bottle.
Yeah, like container. A glass container or whatever, just to take them out of the sky and not show grown-ups the light in the world.
There's, oh my god, there's such like deep discussions to have about these things, but like if you boil it down, I think every one of the people he meets in these small planets represent like
parts of himself.
No, I think parts of the community, or like ugly parts of life, you know, like I think like the boss, the businessman, his name is the businessman, right? Well, he's the businessman. He's everything that has to do with money, you know, because like I hate the US because of that. Everything is based around money and getting more money and more money, and basically when you have money at the top, you take away all the dreams, because then you have only one dream, to be efficient, to be valued, you know. It's almost like Amazon, you know, where they work like all day, 20-hour shift, have like these incredible like goals that they have to meet, just to keep their job. That's like, well, that's reality.
But they show such a real thing, like a real part of that inside of the movie, because basically the movie forwards with the little prince like having some sort of relationship to the main character.
I'm getting all these like realizations continue.
Wait. And eventually we see him grown up in the grown-up world, which is the fear. Like when the little girl asks what happened to the little prince, the older man almost cries because he can't tell. But when she eventually decides to seek the truth, when the older man gets sick, she ends up in the grown-up world, which is a dark place where everyone is working all the time. There are no children, there's no colors, there's nothing beautiful. There's just darkness.
And he's a failure.
And you find the little prince all grown up, and he's a failure. He's had 370 jobs, and he's been fired from 370 jobs, and he's a bad grown up because he was forced to grow up too fast. And that says so much about how like our society today actually works, because I can feel that today, like as a filmmaker, as a film student, as a person who went to dramatic arts in high school and did all kinds of like artistic stuff instead of the more important stuff or more important.
You have done a lot of important stuff.
I have, but at the same time I've always chosen the funnier things. Like I used to be criticized because I used to work in different amusement parks, and I used to have friends saying, yeah, well, it's fun for you to go to work. And I would be like, yeah, because I applied for the fun jobs. Like, don't be stupid. Apply for the fun jobs or you won't have fun. You know, like, people are afraid.
There's a lot of
people are afraid because we have a society telling you what you need to be successful. And I have crapped all over that. Like, I have decided to have a fun life, and that has risks. And we actually talked about this yesterday. We talked about following your dreams to the very extinct. And about, because like being an artist in this world, like doesn't matter if you're a filmmaker or if you just dance or if you do art or if you paint or whatever, like you're in a very tight position in many ways, because you have a world telling you that this is not a real job or this is not a real future.
It's a really hard business.
It's a hard business.
But the thing is that it's hard everywhere if you actually want to do something. And here's the problem, okay? If you don't do the artistic thing that you actually want and settle for something that you think you want, you will never get as good.
No. And I wanted to get to that.
You can take the same risk, you know? You can take the same risk. Like, I promise you, I 100%, I'm 100% sure that you can succeed in anything if you actually just realize how tough or how real it is.
Yes.
Like, don't think that it's just a dreamy thing.
No.
A fantasy, like, you know, oh, I'm just gonna do what I love and it's all gonna work out. No. Do what you love, okay, but take it seriously.
Yeah, but it's like I had
see it in the harsh way that it is.
Yeah.
And realize how much work you need to put in.
Yeah, but it's like I had this friend, like when I went to community college to study filmmaking, my friend Hugo, he really wanted to make his last movie before graduation. And like I wasn't in his class, I was above him, but I think that he had this first meeting saying, I want to build a metro train in the studio.
Hell yeah, boy,
and
let's go.
And you know, everyone went like, cool. Like everyone probably felt like we're going to work hard for this, but they couldn't see it, but he could. And he said this before the summer, and he was going to do it after the summer. So we worked so hard during the entire summer in his summer job just to earn money, to have enough money to put everything into his movie. And it was a short film, and it was a short film in community college. No one would, like, people would see this in competitions, people would see this in festivals, but it would not be like
huge.
The big thing. It would not be huge. It would not be seen by 100,000 people. But this was so important to him, and he also, like, he's right now in I think it's
college?
Yeah, he's in college up in north of Sweden, doing set decor, set dressing, building stuff, building studio.
I love to hear stuff like
it's
that.
It's insane.
Crazy,
like he's so talented. And you know, he built the metro train, and it was fucking amazing. And he built the metro train in miniature because he wanted to film it going in and out of tunnels. And he did this crazy makeup because it was it was supposed to be about this spooky metro station in Stockholm that is now haunted since a couple of years back. It's cool. So cool. And I just wanted to lift this up because if there's someone who's going to sweep the world aside and say, hey, by the way, I did a cool thing then and I'm doing even cooler things now, that's him. And I want to be like that. And I am like that in some ways, but I want to be even more like that. I don't want to...
It's really motivating, right?
Yeah, but it's like, I don't want to be afraid of making money. I don't want to be afraid of what everyone else is saying is successful or is real work. I just want to do things because they matter to me. And this movie is also about that. It's also about shoving other people's expectations aside and saying, well, cool that you want me to do this, but I want to do this.
Well, the guy in the you know, with the hat, he's like all the material in life, and like how important, you know, oh, you have these clothes on, like, whoa, cool, bro. You know, it's like materializing stuff, and I really don't want to be there, you know. I don't want to care about money at all. Like, I hate being stressed over money. Okay, and I get that it
we're
needs
students
to be, too. I get that it needs to be a part of my life. Right, that I need money to survive, but that's like the last thing I really want to think about. I don't even like telling my friends to give money for something that I paid for them, you know.
I'm the same.
It's really it's not fun, you know.
No.
But to go back, because we don't have like tons of time. To go back, what I realized, and I think you already realized this. It's not like a big thing, but you know, when he crushed the star and it went out to like the offices and made it a little bit brighter. Yeah,
because the small girl, she jumps up on this glass cupola kind of thing, and she smashes it with a hammer, so the stars go up into the sky.
I mean the businessman. He showed us how he uses the stars. Why he?
He uses them for energy.
And like, think of this, right? He's taking all their dreams, right? Not letting them have their own dreams, and then he's using them to show them just a little more brightness, because like that picture, it became a bit more bright in the office because it was really dark.
Yeah.
And then they worked
harder for a couple of minutes, and then it goes
and it's
back.
like the light is like the dream, you know? The light is the dream, and he's using all the stars that are supposed to be free.
You're
for
so
everyone.
Angry right now.
Yeah, I am.
You're pissed off.
But you understand what I mean, and I think it's really beautiful because like he's taking all the light from the stars that everyone should be allowed to see.
Yeah, but it's like a thing we talked about yesterday. Sorry.
Probably. Everyone is supposed to be exposed to the light.
Yeah.
And supposed to have all the dream. Like it's not supposed to be contained. The dreams are for everyone.
Yeah.
But he's like taking all the dreams and he's like,
and he's not even using them for himself.
Yeah, I'm gonna use it for you to keep working for me.
Yeah. But it's like the quote. It's like the quote that if you don't follow your dream, you will end up working for someone who does.
Yeah.
And that's sad.
Working for someone
it could be
else's
cool.
dream.
Yeah, it could be cool, but it's also sad. And one thing we talked about yesterday that I think is very important that we bring up is that since this is an animated movie, it would be easy saying this is a children's movie.
Yeah,
but I don't think it really isn't. I can't even say that I think that it's not. It's like it isn't. This is really like it's based on a children's book, but the movie is made for grown-ups. It's made for people feeling as if they grew up too fast, or
and young
as a
adults
warning
as well.
Yeah, and also as a warning for people growing up to be parents that hey, don't do this to your kid.
I would love, and it's I know it sounds so naive because I'm really young.
Yeah.
But I would love just to make people understand what I see.
Yeah.
And what I see is that you can basically do anything you want.
Yeah.
You can. It's not like because I was in that. I was first at I can do whatever I want, and then dreams crushed.
Yeah.
Right? I can't do whatever I want. And then again, I can do whatever I want. And the answer is I can do whatever I want. But the thing that people need to understand that we're not talking about, oh, you have a dream of becoming a big star. You can become a big star.
No.
It's not about reaching the highest of the high.
No.
It's about being on that road.
Yeah.
It's about just like my goal, career wise, is to be able at one point do whatever the things that I want to do.
Yeah.
And not be contained from the money side.
Yeah.
That I don't have the stress of the money.
Yeah.
That's what I'm working towards.
You know what? Another thing that this movie shows you, material-wise, because it's just not an animated movie. This is a movie that's made with stop-motion animation with different materials. It's made with fabric. It's made with wood. It's made with paper. It's made with so many different aspects. And it also shows you that it doesn't matter how you choose to achieve your dreams in life. There are so many materials you could use. There are so many ways you can take. There are so many ways to make something beautiful.
And there's so many layers.
Yeah.
To this movie.
And therefore also when I watch this, I feel so hopeful because whenever I feel something is one-sided, I know there are at least 3 more sides or even 4 or 5. There's not just one side to a story. There are so many more, and that's why I want to keep writing them.
This movie,
I'm getting so emotional right now.
For sure. And wrapping this up.
Yeah, unfortunately.
This movie is so poetic and so beautiful, and so speaking to us.
Yeah.
In a lot of ways. I recommend for anyone to see this just because it gives you another perspective on life. Yeah,
parents with children, young adults, people feeling that their dreams are on hold, whatever.
People that feel like life sucks.
Yeah.
And there's nothing in it for them.
Yeah, watch this. It doesn't. It's not sucky.
And I think we did this the last time, and don't forget the stars.
Don't forget the stars.
And don't forget to subscribe to this awesome
press like,
podcast.
Press like, press subscribe, push that button.
Push it.